Hare Krishna. Thanks for the beautiful chanting. We'll continue reading from this beautiful book called Japa by Gurujana Prabhu. The last time when we met, we completed the 15th chapter. Just to recap, it talks about mixing the negative and the positive desires. I'll read a couple of paragraphs so we can connect to the 16th chapter here. Mixing the negative with the positive. To truly taste the sweetness of Krishna's holy names, we need to strengthen both the negative, our non-desiring, and the positive, our desiring, spiritual desiring. A devotee services isn't motivated by desiring relief from suffering. Rather, devotees simply want to please Krishna. Mishra Bhakti, devotional activity mixed with self-centered desire, does not lead to prema-bhakti. Only devotional service performed solely for Krishna's pleasure defines the abhidhaya tattva, the process of achieving love for Krishna. So our bhakti should be in such a way, it's not mixed bhakti, it should be unmotivated, uninterrupted service to please only Krishna. That should be the goal of it. So let's, in that mood, enter into the 16th chapter, the importance of the positive. Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu also unequivocally states is positive desire in the fourth verse of the Sishtashtaka. There he says, Bhagavad bhakti ahaitukī tvai, that he wishes to attain unmotivated devotional service to Sri Krishna. Clearly, the more experienced devotees have in tasting the sweetness of Krishna's loving service, the greater their detachment from the matter. Krishna himself says this in the Bhagavad-gītā 2.59. The embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, though the taste for sense object remains. But ceasing each such engagement by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness. For the beginners in Krishna consciousness, which we are all in, the embodied soul may be restricted from the sense enjoyment, but the taste for wanting to enjoy those things may remain. The vasanas may still stay there. But ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste is fixed in consciousness. That means we have to try to taste have the higher taste. As we have higher taste, the lower taste on many things will go away. Srila Prabhupada reiterated this point in his purport to Srimad Bhagavatam 4.22.39. The bhaktas, by their transcendental service unto the lotus feet of the Lord, become so overwhelmed with transcendental bliss that automatically their desire for material enjoyment stops. The conclusion is that by developing a loving desire for the service of the lotus feet of the Lord, we subdue all material desires for sense gratification. So that is why it is said that devotional service and chanting go hand in hand. It is not one or the other. Both things are just needed together. We have to make sure that we are engaged actively in Krishna's service. And chanting that's good enough is not just enough, because then the negative desires will still be there. One may ask that why can't the chanting can be enough to purify those things? Well, you should also have an action. The senses are active, very active. Therefore, the senses just cannot be only focusing on the chanting part. It has to be engaged in the services, hands and legs, and everything has to be engaged in the services of Krishna. The process of sadhana increases our desire to serve Krishna. So this is the next section within the same 16th chapter. The general flow of desire to serve Krishna should be ever deepening, although at any particular moment we may not feel particularly deep. Srila, from Srila Prabhupada. It's a extract from a lecture given in Los Angeles on November 29, 1968, from Bhagavad-gītā 2.13 through 17. Prabhupada's words. The first principle is one must be very what? Guess what? The first principle is one must be very dash.
Disciplined.
Okay. Anything else? Recently we went through this one.
Enthusiastic.
Enthusiastic. Enthusiastic. He must believe that Krishna has said that Name Bhakta Pranashyati, my devotee will never be vanquished. This is something very important. On the material standard, we may see devotees failed or failure. But Krishna says that no, my devotees will never be vanquished. Mhm. So, let me become Krishna's devotee sincerely. I must become Krishna's devotee sincerely. These are Prabhupada's words. This is called, again, Shanta Mataji, enthusiasm, right? Let me become Krishna's devotee sincerely. I must become Krishna's devotee sincerely. But here's the point. The point is that this is my words, not Prabhupada's words. Point is that it's not that we keep on meditating. Let me become enthusiastic. Let me become enthusiastic. Let me become enthusiastic, and keep chanting 16 rounds. That doesn't work like that. So enthusiastic means in action, right? So Dhairyat, I have become Krishna's devotee, but still I'm not feeling happy. How is that? So, therefore, you have to become patient. Patience should be there. We cannot just expect everything to happen overnight. Hmm? You may be telling Prabhu, it's not overnight. I've been doing this for past 1 month. It's not 1 month. Prabhu, I've been doing it for 5 years. It doesn't matter. 5 years, 8 years, 10 years. For some people, it could be many years. Uh, for some people, believe it or not, it may take lifetimes. Lifetimes, plural. So it just depends on the thickness of the layer that we have, the vasanas and karma that have. Is so much so that it's hard to get out of certain habits. Sometimes people struggle to get out of certain habits. But Prabhupada has made such a beautiful house for all of us. Those layers can be quickly removed, even in a either in a nicer way or making ourselves humiliate, become humiliated in certain ways. This is all removal of our layers. If we see it in a proper terms, then it helps us. But if we try to react to the situations, then we are adding the layers on top of it. We got to be very careful on approaching and applying things in a right way. So the enthusiasm must be there. You must be patient as well also. And nischayat. Nischayat means you must be confident. Enthusiasm, patient, and then confident. Patient does not mean may happen, may not happen. I have to be shanti. Who knows, may not happen, may happen. It's not like that. We have to have a confidence that this is going to happen. And we will become a devotee, like how Krishna wanted. I will become a devotee. That confidence should be nischaya, the confidence should be there because these are Krishna's words. Oh, Krishna has said that his devotee will never. Oh, Krishna has, Prabhupada says, Krishna has said that his devotee will never be vanquished, so surely I shall not be vanquished. Even though I don't feel now, let me do my duty. This is the point. This is where it comes down to the same point that let's we do our part of what we are supposed to do rather than expecting someone else things like Krishna. Krishna will do what he wants to do when he wants to do. But let us do. Krishna has even set up rules and expectations to us. We have to make sure that are we going through the checklist? Are we satisfying these items? Right? Starting from enthusiasm, having a strong desire, so forth. Are we working towards that? Are we doing our duty to working towards it? That is what we need to be focused on. Mm. How do we increase our devotional desires in both good times and bad? This is a nice question, right? How do we increase our devotional service in good times and bad? And how do we increase our attachment to Krishna? The process of Krishna consciousness, sadhanas, taught by Srila Prabhupada, this is the answer, taught by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Rupa Goswami, and Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu are meant expressly for this purpose. Srila Prabhupada writes, to increase attachment for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one has to accept a bona fide spiritual master and learn from him the methods of devotional service and hear from him about the transcendental message and glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this way, one has to increase his conviction about devotional service. This is also a purport actually, Prabhupada says. Then it will be very easy to increase attachment for Supreme Personality of God. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam 4.22.22 purport. So here is the answer one more time. How do I increase my desire of keeping that enthusiasm during the both good time and bad time? Hmm? The word enthusiasm has not been used here, but we can derive from what it's meant here. How do we increase our devotional desire in both good times and bad time? How do we increase our attachment to Krishna? The thing is that we simply try to follow the instructions of Guru and Krishna. Hmm? So first thing is that we accept a bona fide spiritual master. And if you're already accepted a spiritual master mentally, even if you're not initiated yet, then you still that principle still applies. The yagya part and giving names and changing the kantimala and all those things is a formality, by the way. It's not. I'm not minimizing by saying so. It's a formality. For example, the marriage is a formality. Uh, uh, in the I don't know how many of you heard what I spoke on a couple of days back, where Sita, even before getting formally married to Rama, she lost her heart. She lost her heart to Ramachandra. She's married already at that point of time. Sita was already married by then, and she can't think of anyone else at that time. So, likewise, once you accept mentally, this is my guru, then you're already in one way initiated. You just have to make it formal. That's all. That doesn't mean that formality doesn't have any value. And that's another loophole. If someone is thinking that, well, I mentally accepted, why should I go through this initiation process? Not necessary. That's not how it is. It is all part of the program. One has to definitely get formally establish that relationship in front of the deities to be initiated. Srila Prabhupada is, of course, what's the time? Srila Prabhupada is, of course, referring to sadhana bhakti. When he mentions methods of devotional service, he cites Srila Rupa Goswami's definition of sadhana bhakti in his purport to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, Madhya 22.105, 105. Kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya bhavasa sadhana vidha nitya siddhasya bhavasya prakatyam hridi prakatyam hridi sadhyatha. When transcendental devotional service by which love for Krishna is attained, when transcendental devotional service by which love for Krishna is attained is executed by the senses, it is called sadhana bhakti or regulative discharge of devotional service. Such devotion exists eternally within the heart of every living entity. The awakening of this eternal devotion is the potentiality of devotion service in practice. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.22. I'm going to read one more last paragraph to finish this section in this chapter. This is from Srila Prabhupada. Again, a lecture from Srimad Bhagavatam 7.9.15, Mayapur, February 22nd, 1976. 1976, when most of you have not born yet. Krishna is so kind. He's coming himself. Krishna is so kind. He's coming himself. I was just thinking this. Sometimes, how do we believe? Anyway, let's focus here as time is running out here. Krishna is so kind. I'll say this realization later. He is coming himself. He is teaching Bhagavad-gītā. Again, is coming as Chaitanya Mahāprabhu, as devotee, to become a devotee of Krishna. Krishna prema-bhakti. Krishna is not only teaching Krishna is not only teaching Krishna, but love of Krishna. Krishna, when he personally came, he did not teach how to love him. He simply asked, "You rascal, surrender to me, that's all." And these are Prabhupada's words. Don't try to go and find mudha is the right word. Prabhupada translates mudha into rascals. That's all. You all are rascals. You have forgotten me. I am the Supreme. You are searching after so many wrong things. You know, before we come into Krishna consciousness, some of devotees may be using heavy words, abusive words. I heard sometimes I hear devotees, not here, in other places, where when the same devotees after becoming Krishna consciousness, reading Prabhupada's books and listening to Prabhupada's lecture, the same abusive words, if you want to scold someone, "You rascal," all the abusive word would change into rascal. So you have to learn how to scold others also from Prabhupada, how to use certain right words. So, you rascals, you have all forgotten me. I am supreme. You are searching after so many wrong things. You have created so many so-called occupational and religious duties, but these are all useless. That much. But again, Krishna came to teach people how to love Krishna. Therefore, Rupa Goswami offers his respect to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Namo Mahavadhanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. You are not only giving Krishna, but giving love of Krishna. That is very rare thing. Prema Pumartam Mahan. Pumartam Mahan. People are after dharma, after kama, moksha, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, no. Above this, there is fifth perfection. That is prema, Krishna prema. Prema pumarto mahanu. That's a lecture extract from Prabhupada's teaching. Wonderful, nice purport. Please meditate on this. And we'll meet again tomorrow at 5 a.m. Central Time. Until then, chant and be happy. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.